Hello and good
Brilliant.
morning
Yeah.
and welcome to today's live.
Good morning. Good morning, Beena. We missed you yesterday. And great to have you.
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
Oh yes, yes. How are
Fun,
you?
fun.
How are you doing?
Yes, I am good. I am good. I am good.
Okay, feeling better?
I had a rough night, but yeah, I was feeling better. Sleep so good, but I
Same.
feel great. I feel great. I'm happy to be here. Yeah,
Exactly. We are happy to be
great.
here. And okay, sorry for yesterday. It was unavoidable. It was completely uh, out of my hand kind of thing. And okay, coming back to the topic and today's thought of the day. Before coming here, so and we were discussing about the energy and how people who are trying. Okay, of course, I can only say about myself that I'm trying to be more attuned with the flow, and of course with the universal's intent and the overall intent or abstract intent. It makes you, of course, more receptive, which is like, duh, this is what you are intending for. In other words, it makes you more sensitive to different energy. When you are receptive, of course, when we are making our intents very specifically and very clearly, that okay, I want to be receptive towards this. But still, when you are receptive, you cannot 100% control. At least this is my experience. You cannot control 100% that what you will allow. Some energies which subconsciously you are open with, like people around you, like things around you, like in your household, in your neighborhood, in your area, and also some different energies, of course. Like okay, energy just never dies and it travels. Some people who are there, not in contact, but their energy is still, of course. And you love them and you care about them, or you are keen and somehow curious about. These are the people or things or the energies, in other words. You never make your intent very clear about them because it's like, duh, okay, oh yeah, this is something I know. So means that okay, we are receptive towards that. And that receptivity, of course, it can actually receive a lot of different type of energy, which of course not necessarily negative, but it can be overwhelming. It can create a bit chaos in your own system, in your own energy. Sometimes too much of energy can overwhelm you or your system, complete your energetic system. And sometimes energies which are trying to protect you from something which might be harmful, something which might be not beneficial for you, like getting overtired, like really getting, oh yes, okay, now I can do because this is how we are mostly conditioned to be more productive. So, and some other energies which can sense more than you, they try to protect you, and they they do some tuning into your system or your energy, which can give you a kind of a forceful pause, a deliberate pause, I can say that. If you are not taking it, of course, universe is going to take care of it. And this rules for me again applies to everything in life. When you are not deliberate, then of course by default it is going to the control will be into the abstract intent, the universe's intent, and things will go according to that direction, according to that intent, which might not be understandable for you because no, not universal. Universe is good or nice or bad is completely different. And for me, the example is when some people were making documentaries in jungle, in forests, and in faraway places where where some animals, wild animals, like really hunting other small animals, and they were just observing. They were not doing anything because if they will do something about it as per their instinct, oh, I must save this poor deer, poor rabbit, or poor bird, then they will disturb the ecosystem. Because here you can see the universe's intent right in play, the universe's goodness also right in play. So we cannot understand mostly what universe wants us. So that's why being deliberate is actually just taking some sort of control in your hand with and set the direction where we want to lead in our lives. So for me, that's why deliberateness is a big deal. I'm not saying that okay, we can take the 100% control. No, but some sort of control to set a direction at least. Of course, then the universe and be in flow with the universe's intent can make your life much smoother, much easier, and much fun. And finding the way to make it easier is by just learning and growing. This is all what we are actually doing. Sil, are you done with all your things?
I am.
Okay, okay, okay.
I am. Please do me a favor, Beena, and leave a
Yes.
comment in group in chat. I want to see how it comes. If it shows
Okay.
on mine, just for a test experiment. And while you do that, we're going to be reading the next chapter here, which is chapter 23. Oh, we're moving along very nicely. We're moving along very nicely. Oh, very on.
Okay,
Very
that's
good.
good.
Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Deliberate habits is the first heading. And the question here is, how do I sustain this? What will stop me falling back into old habits? Now, they don't say what this is, but nonetheless, right? Uh, Biella will respond very cool. She does. Very, she does. All right. I was hoping Stephanie said hi earlier. She said she's going to come on, so we can, you know, Stephanie, if you're listening, now's a good time to come on. And Stephanie was going to read for us, and that would be great. Enjoy listening to Stephanie. So that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah. Well, who knows? Something might happen. All right. In the meantime, I'll be reading. I don't think you feel like reading today, right, Pina? Just save it.
Yes. Yes.
Deliberate. Let me screen share. Oh, yeah, I don't need to code on this computer either. Must be. All right, here we go. We're going to start reading. We missed Venus' introduction on the recording today, but maybe I'll save it. All right, and here we go. I'm going to go right into it. Right into it, right away. Chapter 23, Deliberate Habit. How do I sustain this? What will stop me falling back into old habits? To sustain. That's a most excellent question, DJ. You have to re-habitualize. Means you have to become temporarily like be thinking of them all day, coming back to thinking about them at every opportunity. Be determined to master them as inner content. Like to know the logic and reason, the connection, implications, the consequences, extrapolations, every which way and back again. You have to become utterly expert in your change. So expert they become innate. That memory is not a part of knowing them. You can pull this beingness out of yourself in any context. But bigger, struggling to read a bit. So you can pull this beingness out of yourself in any context, with any connection that is automatic. Just exactly like riding a bicycle or playing the piano. Not something one can actually do from memorizing how. It has to be applied to be actually known. Okay, don't worry. Come when you come. Thursday. It's home. It's home. No, it's home. Oh, oh, enormous. Live now, Roma. Sorry to interrupt my story there. Important things. Yeah, normally when Venus reading, you see, then I can do that. Yeah. Uh, so you have to become utterly expert in your change. So expert they become innate. That memory is not a part of it. So you can pull this Venus out of yourself in any context, with any connection. That is automatic. That's exactly like riding a bicycle or playing the piano. Not something one can actually do from memorizing how. It has to be applied to be actually known. Thus, you have to feel the changes, be the changes, feel different, be different, reward the changes of different behavior, not with trivial pride like treats and such, but with the ultimate pride, which is that knowing inside that what you're doing and the changes and your being and behavior, at least perspectives on the matter, on you are right, right according to you, not anyone else in the world. Whether anyone agrees or not is immaterial. Here you are the final arbiter of the truth. Now, this means you have to be utterly impeccable in checking and testing. No supposings, no assumptions, no guessing. You have to work it all out from scratch. Like you doubt the logic and reason. Stakes are supremely high. So you have to check, double check, triple, quadruple check, and then do all that over and over again. Nothing check. What do you think of this section, Beena? Beena? Brilliant. I see your comment. I see your comment. Now,
Okay.
can I respond to your comment? Eh?
No, not on YouTube.
Did you do that on YouTube or on my on in group? Where did you make the
I
comment?
did both. I did both.
Oh, okay. I'm just seeing the one comment. I'm not seeing both. Did you hit enter on both?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's interesting. So I don't know where this. I'm assuming this comment, hello and welcome, with the three flowers. That's on Facebook, right?
I
You
have
made that.
on both. I have on
Uh,
both.
well, the exact same comment. You made the exact same comment.
Yes.
Oh, oh,
I can see
okay.
thanks Beena
Then this
there.
is
So you responded.
YouTube.
You responded
Yeah,
on the YouTube. Good. You can.
yeah, yeah. See, so it won't let me respond on Facebook. I can, when I can comment back to somebody on YouTube, but I can't respond to them. See, it's grayed out here. See, it
Okay.
won't let me do it.
Yes.
But it did let me do it to YouTube. I wonder why it doesn't let me do it to Facebook. I'll get on to support it. Uh, brilliant, brilliant. I just wanted to test that. But what do you think of this section so far of what Biella is saying? Does it follow? Does it connect? Seems to me she kind of
Absolutely.
jumped right into it. It does. Okay, great.
Absolutely. Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great. Because like I said, for me, it seemed a bit of a jump, but I'm maybe being hyperly critical. So I thought, yeah, just I want to be sure, I want to be sure.
But for okay,
Okay,
for me sometimes I get because I do have this thing, so because the understanding somehow know how about what Biala is saying, so my mind just make some connection. So that is also a thing.
well,
And because we were discussing about the energy and other things, so maybe.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was thinking about this, and I think I'm worrying too much. First of all, look at that yesterday's, well, the chapter, not yet the previous one, right? The long one that is so all encompassing and shares everything. And in that they were the most replied. And yes, we'd had previous conversations, but not to the depth and extent that we've had. Not like the Mo was doing Way-of-Impeccability or anything. We just been chatting. Yes, obviously everything I share has that some element into it. But the Mo pulled quotes and they were powerful and meaningful to her. And I feel this is, if you're reading like that, you're going to pull this, right? Um, and that's why I emphasize the rehabilitate. Yes? Uh, and I think what I'm going to do is put that like this on its own sentence, yes? To make it stand out as an important point, right? And then she explains about it, right? Uh, to falling back into old habits, the answer is you have to rehabilitate. Right? Very simple. Yeah? And then she says, how? Yes? Which means, you see? You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you understand the context here, then all of this makes sense. But if you miss that, then this doesn't. I feel. But still, like I said, it's good. I mean, it's very powerful stuff that Biella is saying there. Owning our real, just like this heading, owning our real. Just a really cool, like a T-shirt slogan. Own your real. Yes, we don't own our real for the most part. Somebody else owns it. You have to answer and resolve each and every tiny doubt on the matter, so that not one single little niggle of doubt remains. This, of course, only has the benefit of repetition. This, of course, also has the benefit of repetition and emphasis, which is how we make it our own. And that's what you will be doing. This is so crucial what Biella says here. This, if you don't make it your own, that, that yes, you can make it a habit, but then it's a habit that's going to be destructive in the end. There's of course also the habit of repetition and emphasis, which is how we make it our own. And that's what you'll be doing. But to start, you have to want to make it your own. Okay. Isn't that something? You would think that this is not something that needs to be specified, that you need to want to make it your own. But you do. Yes. We might kind of inadvertently take things on, but we don't necessarily want to make it our own, because in doing so, you are taking on a responsibility. And many avoid that responsibility of making it our own. Yes. Can I understand? Very interesting. You have to truly desire to bring all the changes into your system, to incorporate and integrate, which means they become part of the body and different parts of the mind. It's like we're taking it all off the hard drive and building it into the operating system. In this kind of thing, we have to be ridiculously careful to not be fooled into believing we know, because the information is in there. And that means, by the way, just because we had a realization, while genuine, doesn't mean anything if it doesn't get transferred into the. Just think, how many of those realizations are still on the hard drive of memory? And what are they doing for you now? And what are they doing for you now? That's important. So many of these wonderful realizations, we've probably even forgotten so many of the realizations. We just remember the most recent ones. So what are they doing for you? Can you even access or remember them? No, you can't. And that's the stuff that's working, that's usable, that you can talk about, that you know, that you can say, "Oh, this is me. This is what I stand for, what I am." That's the inner stuff of being, which actually matters. That's the stuff of inner being. Oh, that's the inner stuff of being, which actually matters. That which you have deliberately and consciously made you, and where your power of being comes from. This is the cue which can override the conditioned cue. to bring you into that wondrous, potent world of deliberate and conscious living. This requires an act of sustained will. See the difference between this and memory you, belief only you, realization you. You do see that difference, yes, Beena?
Yes.
See the difference between this you. Uh, Kind of interesting, the two different looks here, in one looking out over the other. Intent and change, our intent to change our real. DJ, yes. And key to this is remembering that myself is someone to negotiate with and make things fun for. Resolution. Wow, this is interesting. Another chapter here where the questioner is giving feedback. You know what I mean? It's a conversation rather than just a question.
Mm.
Yeah. So GJ says, yes, and key to this, remembering that myself is someone to negotiate with and make things fun. Resolution. 1. Boredom creates restless energy, seeking a home or youth. Very interesting thing that they say there. Yes. And boredom does create a restless energy which seeks a home or a youth. You have to be very careful when you're bored. 2. Once we insist a solution exists, we find it. Yes. These are feedbacks from conversations we've had before. Uh, it's more fun and effective to negotiate with oneself instead of demanding and commanding. Yeah, much more fun to negotiate with yourself. Interact, not even negotiate, but share. Sticking to a fun, responsible plan helps one stop wasting time. 5. I don't have to be serious about everything all the time. Biella. Yes. And to connect to that deep, deep self that one loves, the deep, deep self, the one that loves truth and ethics and goodness and things being right. Your impeccable self-love, DJ. Indeed, a self that can be trusted. Biella. I'll go over the list in detail. I have to finish an important email. DJ. Cool. Just seeing, I leave those in, an editor would probably say, take that out, and just continue with it. But I like to show these are real conversations happening, real stuff happens, it just makes it more real to me. Yes. What do you think, Pete? As an editor, do
Yes.
you think I should leave that out, those last two, and just, jump into this? Or just to say, I'll go over that list in detail, right? I'll cut out that part
Yes.
there.
Yeah, I
Right?
just say okay, I'll go in detail.
But,
Yes.
leave out this after you finish an important email part.
I think that if it's not needed, she's just saying okay, I'll go in detail.
Oh, I mean, I try not to cut things out. Though. I like to leave them close to the
Oh, okay.
original as possible. You
Okay.
see, I
So
mean, it's
then,
just,
then you of course you
yeah,
can keep it.
yeah. I mean, it's just been my style to do that. That you have this.
Yes.
Yes, it is extraneous, but there's an implication to it. It means that it has that connectivity of realness, which Biella's busy. She's got stuff to do, and she's taking care of this conversation. But this wasn't something that was arranged. Not like she made an appointment with Biella or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
and it says Biella does stuff. She has a life, not just here for you only. She just says cool. Biella, Biella, a quote back. Biella quotes back GJ. Indeed, a self that can be trusted. That's what GJ just said, right? Yes, replies Biella to this. And that's right there. That's huge, what you said. And how you came to say that statement of capital U understanding of what's involved. That's a statement of capital U understanding. of what's involved, right? Because this was a summation where GJ had said, a self that can be trusted. That's getting the greater picture. If you don't make it your own, if you don't make yourself your own, if you don't make your learning your own, then then uh, how are you having a self that can be trusted? It's not. It's not trustworthy because it's not your own. And when it's not your own, you don't know where it's come from. You don't know what's going on with it, and it may behave in ways that you don't necessarily know. And be careful. The implications of that statement in terms of how you understand what's involved are huge. And by implication, mean you really do understand what's involved. Yes? And this is
Yes.
exactly how we sustain and make it our own by coming to capital U understanding of it all. TJ. Yeah. Testing our
Yes.
real Biella. Also, what's key is to check and test that understanding. What's key is to check and test that understanding. This is most important. This we do via expressing that understanding. It's all too easy inside the mind, only to make jumps and leaps of logic and assumption. And yes, we really do understand, but that's merely step one. One, one. Eh, we would think from what Biella says, understanding is this huge big deal, and that's like when you understand, that's the end of it. It's not step. That's really step one. We have to master the understanding in order to make it fully our own. This is a huge difference. This is how we sustain the understanding and learning and turn it into growth. Wow. Now, I'm keen to use a different word than master here, but I don't know what other word there is. So I put it with a capital M, which means when you have mastery over something, you are expert. Yeah. And there isn't a word for to say we have to expert the understanding. There should be. You see what I mean? We make ourselves
Yes.
expert. Yeah. Right. DJ, I'd like to forget about shoulds in relation to boredom and not wasting time to form new habits without shoulds. It's the thing that TJ said. Yeah? And she's starting to get it. Now, yeah. Yeah. That expression, think of it as becoming expert on what's involved. There we go. Expert at a particular understanding. This means we can explain it easily and thoroughly to someone else. Now, this is an expert on capital U understanding. Just because I've got capital U understanding doesn't mean I'm really expert on it yet. I get it. Yes, but to fully be expert on it, I have to be able. This means we can explain it easily and thoroughly to someone else. To someone else. This is most this is a most critical part of completely owning our understanding and thus make it not only real but usable. Thus, we can express by talking about it in the sense of like we can give a lecture or a talk on the subject or write about it, like we're writing a book about it. We, of course, don't actually have to either, but we have to be expert enough that we are able to do so, that the content is worthy. Like say someone else actually gave the talk, that the content fits, makes sense, is coherent, cohesive, sensible, connected, and fitting, all according to our wants and preferences and personal predilections and character, etc. So the entire matter has to be able to be expressed as appropriate to us as individuals, having deliberately chosen this particular way. way of being able to express our inner rightness and choices as an expert on ourselves is critical to sustain. In order to sustain, I probably took out the in order to, but in this case, it it it, it needs that filler there. It's too much of it. This is what sustain me. Oh, right in the context of the question, how do I sustain? How do I sustain myself? That now we're seeing what the sustain means, and how do I sustain my change? How do I sustain my moreness? Yes, right. That I've newly acquired. DJ and the 9 o'clock tonight. We'll read up in the morning. Yeah, I'd like to forget about shoulds. Oh, another quote back here. There we go. So another quote back. Biella quoting back DJ to DJ. I'd like to
Mhm.
forget about should in relation to boredom and not wasting time, to form new habits without should. Biella responds very enthusiastic. Yes, 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 yes. Action. So amazing what a bit of retraining the brain can do. This was took quite a lot of doing to get to this point. But feeling a bit tired, I want to go sleep. But I'm not going to sleep away my fun. Mary. Now that's a good representation here, a little bit sleepy DJ, right? And it does have this kind of young teenagerness and always summary of real. Yeah. Most excellent mind-based talk. 5 major points on this. Now, Biella here is quoting back those 5 points of resolution that DJ had come to. Point 1. Boredom creates restless energy seeking a home or use, DJ had said. Biella responds. It's useful to ask just what exactly is boredom. When we examine it closely, it's not actually a thing, but a mirage, a belief to be something not really real. But believing in the not real can have real consequences. Wow, wow, wow. Believing in the not real can have real consequences. That's a very cool quote. I think I'm going to put in my quote file. Yeah, Beena, what do you think? Beena?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
yes, yes, I heard you. Sorry. I'm trying to open up my file, but I don't
No problem.
see that here anyway.
Oh,
There we go. Yeah. I didn't have it pre-opened. I normally do. All right. I have this on my clipboard, so I'll put it in there as soon as that. You see it just takes a little time and then it says, okay, the computer rebooted, so they didn't close properly. To recover them. That's a cool quote. Though. Believing in the not real can have real consequences. I don't think that people really realize this. Yes, I mean it's kind of duh when you mention it, and that's why it's a powerful quote. Yes, to me, good quotes are quotes that bring to mind and make us aware of things that we kind of know but didn't knew we knew. Yes, you with me, Bina?
yes, yes.
No, and that's the value. That's a very powerful value. When suddenly you realize, oh, so, but yeah, and I might actually be doing this. It makes it very powerful, very very powerful, very powerful. Believing in the not real, real PM. Ah, uh, With boredom, I find it most useful, have found it, to engage my stubborn aspect as in. I refuse to ever be bored, be labeled as bored, or in any way see myself suffering by being bored. Nope, not me, never. Thus I connect never being bored to my self-perception, making boredom simply not part of my reality, my self-image. And this is concept. Yes, perception is correct too. But since that time, this self-perception evolved into self-conception. Thus, I connect never being bored to my self-conception, making boredom simply not a part of my reality, my self-image. We have to feed those monsters to keep them alive. And on us, yes, yes, like boredom, it's a monster. If you feed it to keep it alive, that's no need to do that. Point number two of DJ's 5 point list, which Biella quotes back. Once we insist the solution exists, we find the response. What a vital part of ourselves, of our power of living toolbox of autonomy. This right here, the application of this here, this is it. This is what we actually can do to make ourselves awesome. This is what we actually can do to make ourselves awesome. How awesome to always find a solution, to, to, to always coming to resolution, to always come to resolution, even if it is coming to the clear and thorough understanding is nothing to be done. Then we connect to that other superpower, patience, which, when used in full awareness, becomes a doing, not an empty waiting, as it is waiting for the power and liberation. Yes, hello, Norma. Hello, Norma. M for magic also. Just here now. All good, Norma. All good. You know that you, is what matters. That's what matters. That's what matters. Hello, wonderful Norma. And Norma also says, sorry, but he's been okay. A little bit under the weather, but very mildly. Right, Beena? If I could answer for you, okay. Norma says, hello, Beena, you okay? Yes. But
Yes, Norma, thank you. I'm definitely getting better.
yeah,
Yes.
you can type in comments there.
Yes.
I do see them here, and when I read, I get so immersed in the reading that even though it's right there next to me, I'm trying to make sure to see it. All right. And this point that I'll read this again. This once we insist a solution exists, we can find it. The other replies to this by saying, what a vital part of ourselves, of our power of living toolbox, of awesomeness. I mean, this is a very powerful tool. This right here, the application of this right here, this is what we actually can do to make ourselves awesome. How awesome to always find a solution, to always come to resolution, even if it is coming to the clear and thorough understanding that there's nothing to be done at the moment. Then we connect to that other superpower, patience, which, when used in full awareness, becomes a doing, not an empty waiting. Not an empty waiting, as it is waiting full of power and deliberation. Very nice definition of patience. In other words, if you compact that, make it into a quote, patience is waiting filled with power and deliberation. Yes, right, Beena? I'll include the full quote.
Yes.
This is a very, very,
Yes.
very cool quote here. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
file is name. No, it's a different file. So I don't know why it's different. Ah, Or I like to add them in, it was something that mostly when I added in there was sort of new things that were going to be in future Biella series. That's how it started. But now that the things are written, I'm finding I'm pulling them and putting them out. It's very cool. Gosh, now I'm even more sleepy. Stay with it, DJ. Point number 3, Biella's repeat back. It's more fun and effective to negotiate with oneself instead of command. Yes, indeed. Instrumental in this understanding is the awareness that I is more than one. We are not a singular entity. We are not a singular entity in the way we imagine. We have aspects which, when not paid attention to, can wreak havoc internally. This is not to say. Hmm, that's a very interesting thing, and a very interesting thing to be aware of. Yes, this point of the internal aspects. This is not to say they need to be appeased or indulged, but simply taken into cognizance. Now, I am wondering if this aspect might not need some more elaboration here, but all right. Oh, yes, it does. Yeah. They are like sub-programs open on the computer, running in the background, monitoring what's going on, ready to come to the fore if needed, as they are specialist programs. However, sometimes they are triggered inappropriately, and this is when we need to deal with them by giving them something to feel like they have satisfied the need for having been called. Otherwise, they are satisfied and malcontent, as they believe the problem which triggered them, and thus the reason for their existence, has not been dealt with. Now, this is very important, and thus they will remain agitated until they believe it is. I need to make a break here. However, sometimes they are triggered inappropriately, and this is where we need to deal with them by giving them something to feel like they have satisfied the need for having been called. Otherwise, that's one very long sentence there, right, Beena? This whole point of the aspects. And replying to Norma Boswell, yes, Norma Boswell, I am. It's Beena. Brilliant. I love it. All right. Otherwise, they are dissatisfied and malcontent because they believe the problem which triggered them, and thus the reason for their existence has not been dealt, and thus they will remain agitated until they believe it is. This is very important to understand about our inner aspects, right? Now, many of us have, I call it Mr. A, like as in Mr. Accountant, yes, or Mr. Anal. I don't know, we don't like that word, but it's a psychological term coming from Freud, all right, in the stages of development, yes. And it means that we want things to be very neat and tidy and exact and orderly. Because at that time in our lives, I don't know if this is Freudian theory, but it's mine, my psychology theory, like my understanding of psychology. Why do we want things neat and tidy and orderly? Because back at the day, when that started to be something we became aware of, was also a time of great insecurity. We were very young, talking about very early ages, baby, 2, 3 years old, whatever, some early stage of that. And in that insecurity, what gave us security was order. Yes. And order gets associated and it's very intimately connected to neatness and tidiness. See? Now, the association, and this is why association management is part of way of impeccability. Now, the association is between neatness and tidiness and security. You see? Jumps. Yeah. Because A is equal to B, B is equal to C, that means A is equal to C. Yes? Right, Beena?
Yes.
All right. Now, we know this when we think about it. It's a very simple logic issue. A is equal to B, all right? B is equal to C. Okay. Does that mean A is equal to C? Oh, well, yeah. Right. I mean, it's not, but the same thing now. So in your child brain, it's a computer. It doesn't have programs, but the computer is inherently, and it is made to understand those logical problems like that and math. It's built into the computer. Our brains are the same way. They inherently know this. Now we have, uh, you've got safety is connected to order. Order is connected to neatness and tidiness. Yes. Therefore, neatness and tidiness is also safe. OCD, how it comes about. When you get obsessive in this, now you get commercial problems and all sorts of stuff in this. But we see the roots of it, why it becomes important. So now you're going along your day, la 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 la. And if you can hear my fake typing sounds, typing away. Okay, I have to look at my keyboard to type. Yeah, having it up a bit. But la 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 la, and something happens. Something on the TV, who knows? Some thought, strangers thought, who knows? Who knows where random stuff comes from? Right? But it does. And it threatens your security in some way or makes an associative connection. There's something, some word you're typing. Okay, you might be typing, I don't know, coziness. And coziness has a connection to safety. Yes, if you're cozy, you might be cozy but not safe, or coziness means safe, or whatever. And suddenly your safety, your security gets started again. And here comes Mr. A or Miss A. Safety is important, but you need to be neat and tidy. See now the association in that logic. You need to tidy things in order to feel safe. And here you go about and you tidy your desk. You have no idea why. You just say, "Oh, I just suddenly felt like it." You didn't suddenly feel like it. It was a reasonable connection. See? Now, if you start to pay attention to the self and you said, and your Mrs. A comes out or Mr. A comes out and yeah, but man, I'm busy writing my story here. I'm busy working on my book. I don't feel like tidying things right now. What's this all about? And you realize that Miss A is unsatisfied. They were called and they haven't yet. Okay, Miss A, and you just doing a piece, but you do a very slight little bit of tidying. There, I see, I moved it now. See that thing there? It was standing a bit skewed. Now I moved it straight. It can be the most trivial of things. Okay, so Mrs. A, all right, thank you for that. No problem. It's the most incredible thing. We call it managing the aspects. Right? It's a very trivial, small thing. I don't know if Biella's going to go into it. Yeah, I might be describing what you're going to be saying, but I don't think she'll go into this much detail. But but that's the key, though, right? Make them feel that they no longer need it. And it takes very little to do that. And you can do it virtually. You don't have to do it in actual physical reality. You might just tidy something in your mind and then have it, right? It's very interesting. I mean, it is Mr. A now, but it could be Mr. Stubborn, it could be all sorts of ones, right? Those are many different aspects, right? I mean, it's like anger. You can appease it by scolding somebody in your head angrily. And you're sitting in a meeting with your boss. Okay, I better not show that expression if my boss is gonna see that. Okay. I'll keep my smile, but meanwhile I'm scolding my boss in my head. It works. Virtual appeasement is the same as real. Very powerful. So, makes sense for you?
Yes, yes,
Right. Right. Well, you jump in if it doesn't. Obviously, you will, right?
yes.
However, sometimes they these aspects, our aspects, inner aspects is a bit redundant, but I want to make this point. Sometimes our inner aspects are triggered inappropriately. And this is when we need to deal with them by giving them something to feel like they have satisfied the need for having a call. Otherwise, they're dissatisfied and malcontent. They believe the problem which triggered them, and thus the reason for their existence, has not been done. And thus they will remain agitated until they believe it is. And now we get back to that quote of the others. Just believing in the unreal and have very real confidence. Yeah? And this is exactly how it applies to the inner aspects. Right? They just have to believe it's real. And they do. When you do that coding inside your head, to them it's real. Well, they as virtual as the virtual scolding, so of course it's real to them. And it has a real consequence in that it appeases them and they go on. They don't keep pressuring you. This is key. You only have to believe the particular issue related to them has been done. So why that is then. Oh. Thank you, Amazon. Sorry about that. Heard me or not? Like it. I did, yeah. All right. Get me away for the camera. Very cool. It's key. You only have to believe the particular issue related to them. Can achieve this virtually inside ourselves by feeding them the problem in ways that they can easily resolve and thus resolve its energy. If we don't deal with those aspects, it's exactly like on the computer. Those background programs drain our energy and resources make us slower and slower. And then, of course, there are also times we simply need to be tonguey face, laughy face. That's what that colon P, if you type it into like in Facebook, right? Make a tonguey face, which is cheeky face. But, I mean, when these things started, I remember before they became actual visuals, they started as type text, right? They call emoticons. Now they call them emojis. But an emoticon was a whole range of them. And you didn't have a picture to go with it. People just over time knew that, yeah, I had to go and Google it at one point. So I got it all wrong on one of them. I thought it meant something else entirely. It was very amusing to me. I was understanding. Anyway, so that means sticky face, tummy face, Biella. Point four, repeat that. Put back, I'm sorry. Put, sticking to fun, sticking to a fun, responsible plan helps one stop wasting time. Biella response. The key here is flexibility to make sure the plan always fits. Otherwise, we're having a plan which doesn't always fit how we feel. And how do we accomplish this? DJ says. Sticking to a fun, responsible plan helps one to stop wasting time. The key here is flexibility. No, she's quoting back Biella. Make sure the plan always fits. Otherwise, we end up having a plan that doesn't fit this. So true. This seems to be the case tonight. I'm too tired to wash my hair now, and it's boring. I think this can all go out because she's responding to the point above. I don't go back. Right, Beena? Yes. I mean, she's directly responding to that. Now, I put it in there because that's what
Yes.
DJ did at the time.
Yes.
But it's redundant. Yeah. This so true. This seems to be the case tonight. I'm too tired to wash my hair now, and it's boring. So I'll get up early in the morning, although that's not sticking to a routine. Sometimes people do things out of should. Biella. Point four. She continues. I'm just going to I'll put in a dot indicate this from before. And how do we accomplish that? By making the plan appropriate, of course. When we build into our plans appropriateness, we satisfy our should aspect, a powerful aspect, which can be bothersome in this extreme. But when that should aspect is connected to the appropriateness, like we should feel, behave, is connected to appropriateness, like we should feel, behave, enjoy, etc. appropriately, then all craving after that. This is too, 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 yeah, not much. See, there's an inappropriate, right? We satisfy our should aspect, a powerful aspect which can be bothersome in the extreme. When that should aspect is connected to appropriateness, like we should feel, behave, act, enjoy, etc. appropriately, then it's all gravy off as we can. As we can sneeze inappropriately, as we can adapt and shift and change as much as we like. Because, of course, appropriateness depends on context and motivation, goal. Yeah, wow, 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 wow. This. When that should aspect is connected to appropriateness, like should feel babies appropriately and appropriate. When we satisfy our should aspect, powerful aspect, it can be bothersome and in the extreme. Oh, we satisfy our should aspect. Uh, oh, I see. It's all connected. All right, it makes sense. That's a very powerful point here, right, Beena? Yeah. So, in the context of mood, what becomes our
Yes.
motivation? What is appropriate to deal with that mood appropriately? What should we then do? What what should we then do, which is appropriate for satisfying the goal of changing the mood according to what we want? Yeah, something wrong with this thing. So, in the context of mood, comes up, right? What is appropriate to deal with that mood appropriately? What should we do? What should we then do, which is appropriate for satisfying the goal of changing the mood according to it is missing yet. So, is. Wow. Now, what happened then? So, in the context of mood, what becomes our motivation? What is appropriate to deal with the mood appropriately is what should we then do, which is appropriate for satisfying the goal of venture art. That's it. Should is a horrible aspect in its usual form. However, like with all our aspects, the trick is to leverage them appropriately. Another instance of applying the plan of appropriate. There it all falls into place, right? We need to have this to be our plan. Point number 5. Quote, I don't have to be serious about everything all the time. Yeah, those ones. Aha. But you can be serious about not being serious all the time. But you can be serious about not being serious all the time. Smiley face, laughing face. Again, this is the magic of appropriateness as a plan. It automatically takes care of such adjustments to the life plan and application of living. Does that make sense, Beena? Good night.
Yes.
Good night. Yeah,
Good idea. Yes. Perfect
that's it.
timing.
That's it. Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect time. let's see what's happening. That's just brilliant. What do you think of this, all the entire chapter?
I'm keen to share, but I will share it tomorrow. I will
Oh,
share my takeaway on
oh,
this
oh,
tomorrow.
oh. Norma, any closing
Just
comments
losing
there
a bit
before
of
we go?
energy. That's all.
Oh, wait, all right. Norma says, I am psychic and have been concerned about it. Slow down a bit. That's what Norma says to you. Yes, that's exactly what Norma, what Beena is doing. Is slowing down. Which is why we're only doing a little bit today.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Exactly.
brilliant,
And thank you,
brilliant.
Norman.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Sorry, that's exactly what I was going to say. Thank you, Norma. Thank you for the love. Okay. We very much love and enjoy your caring. Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Very beautiful. All right, too wonderful, too wonderful. Um, I'm going to end the live and end the recording and end the rain, but stay on live. Okay?
yes. Yes. Thank you,
All right,
everyone.
all right.
Okay, so thank you, everyone who is going to watch us recorded also. Please watch
Yeah,
us live on YouTube. You can do that. And soon we will be on Instagram live also, and we'll see that, okay, how the technicalities will allow us to be there. But we are actually expanding it. And please do comment, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for the
exactly.
sake of keeping your algorithm precise as you really
Yeah,
want. This is the new learning. This is the new way of being, and as we are entering in a like completely new era for humanity and in general, because online life is also a life. So we need to pay
yes, yeah,
attention to the algorithms
yeah,
also. For that
yeah.
also, that
In
you
other
really, really
words,
exactly like
right,
you don't allow anyone to come into your house and do whatever they want to is this is exactly what your social and internet life or virtual life is also
yeah,
be. Please don't allow
yeah.
all the nonsense or whatever irrelevant to you comes into your algorithm and mess it up. So please by
And
liking and subscribing, sorry sir, sorry, please say.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
No,
ahead.
I was just saying by
And,
liking and subscribing to what you
and
really want to
sharing.
see and sharing what you really want to do in your life and what you really want to have in your life. So be
Yes,
be very careful about training the algorithm.
yes. In order
Okay.
of importance, like, comment, share. Yes,
Yes.
and that trains the algorithm. Now, why is this important? Well, to me, it goes further than just changing the algorithm, which brings you more of the same in your life. If you consistently do this and you keep liking and sharing and commenting and doing all three, hopefully, on this type of content, you are going to end up changing your paradigm.
Exactly.
You're going to
Exactly.
end up in a completely different online world. You just can take it with Facebook. My Facebook, compared to what most people experience, is very different because I have been paying attention to that. Yes, okay, sometimes I do click on your dog video or I do like your profile picture. Generally, I don't click on when people post a new profile picture, except Venus. And she posts nice artwork. When they just change their profile. Because if you do click on that, it says, well, every time somebody does a profile, I'm going to be shown it. It's not very I don't mean to ignore you. I'm not being rude to you, but it's not particularly high in my priority list. I don't want my feed filled with profile pictures. I have a lot of friends. I think I'm like 2,000, right? If I start doing that, I'm going to see more of it. So we have to be conscious on what we emphasize. But posts like this, I like and comment and share all three because like gives a little bit to the algorithm, comment gives a bit more to the algorithm, and share says this is really important to you, so it gives a lot to the algorithm, right? So that's why in that order of importance, right, going up. And now you're really training your algorithm to say, I really, really, really am super interested in this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff is important to me. It's important enough that I share. Yeah, and this trains the algorithm to bring you more. And over time, if you keep into this, you're going to be shifting to people who are sharing more like this, and you emphasize them and like a comment and share, friend them, of course. you bring more and more into your paradigm, and you change the paradigm. Yeah? So it's very,
Yes.
very important. And this way this works. I mean, Google does the same thing, right? Your shopping and everything. Amazon, they all work on the same algorithm. Those algorithms still need a lot of tweaking because, like the one lady says, my toilet broke and I bought a new toilet. Yes, thank you, Amazon. How many toilets do you think I have in my house? You recommended me 20 extra toilets. Yeah, I only need one. Okay, I might have a big house or small, but in other words, the algorithm can be inappropriate in keep feeding you more of the same, like in shopping algorithms, right? But soon you click on other stuff and then it starts showing. So in general, it sort of works. But this is very important to understand, though, that life is no real different. Yes, what we emphasize, we bring into our lives, and we bring more of. Right? It's an
Yes.
incredible algorithm, and you start to notice it. There's nothing magical about it. It's simply how you train your brain to perceive the massive reality, this massive amount of information, and to filter it according to what you want. Yeah. So when we say bring stuff into your life, not really. It's actually more about filtering what you notice. Yeah? Very simple, basic psychological understanding that there may be also the other side. Things aren't either one way or the other. There's some. It can also be that you literally do bring things into your life, which is the whole manifestation, materialization, right? But usually when people are talking about that, what they notice is they just happen to notice something that was there anyway, but their filter has shifted and now suddenly it's like it's materialized. The effect on us is the same. And again, getting back to the other's comment, things don't, our belief in the unreal can make them very real, right? Can have real consequences, right? So this belief makes the manifestation real. It's not actually manifesting, but it's not to mean that we cannot actually manifest. Yes, also, we have to understand the entire complexity of it all. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But Venus point out to get back to this was commenting on liking, commenting, sharing changes the algorithm, changes your paradigm image. Right,
Exactly.
Bina?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such details because these are important and need to be emphasized and repetition again and again. Because as the AI is taking over all these things, and of course, it has a lot of benefits. I love that. But of course, it can be very problematic for people who are not paying attention to. So please do pay attention to your online life also as you are paying attention to your life in general, because it is not only becoming part of your life anymore; it is your life. So do pay attention. Thank you so much, sir. See you guys tomorrow with more detail, and of course, tomorrow we will have a podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Yes,
8:30 in the morning tomorrow. We're doing
yes,
episode 4 already. We started. And I'm going to
yes,
be continuing on clarity of intent to say why exactly clarity of intent is so important. And
yes.
for the astute observer, I just did say so. What I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
If you put a conception onto what I said earlier, that's clarity of intent for the exact same reason. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm going
yes.
to be explaining tomorrow.
Oh,
Very cool.
yes, that is going to be exciting. So, whoever
Yeah.
is listening to us right now, please try to be there by joining us. That will be a really fun time because, of course, we can only hear him. We cannot see him right now, but soon we will have videos also available and, of course, interactive things so we can make calls and ask questions and all sort of fun things because this is fun for me when you can ask questions.
Oh, that reminds me. Yes, yes. No, we can do the calls now to us, yeah, our own call-ins. Yes. I added it to the description. If you look at the group's description, there, or at least
Okay,
the post,
okay,
the
okay,
description,
okay.
right? And look at the
Oh,
top there.
yes.
It says, right, the name of today, the title is Dealing with Habits Being Real, Ask Biella Reading Spot 29.2, to join the lives and the group and the time. And then I added in just today, to call in during the live 928-235-6655. And this is only available during the live. For the rest of the time, you'll just get a recording which says come back between
Okay,
10 and 12 Pacific time, right? But
Okay.
but
Okay.
if you call if anyone calls on this number, right? Then I just mentioned there, and it's in the top in the group, right? I'll take your call live during our live here because it's an open, and anybody can call in.
Oh,
Some
that's
people,
perfect.
they
That's
don't want
perfect.
to type and all this. They're in the car and they're listening to it, and they don't want to be typing. They can make a call. All right. All right. So very
Okay.
cool. Very cool.
Okay.
All right. Bye
Thank
bye. Bye
you.
bye.
And
Bye bye.
yes. And
All
bye
right.
for now.